Good afternoon. I am glad to be able to chat with you again this afternoon and for this coming week. It is so difficult to believe that we are entering week 6 and it has a number of things to get accomplished. The first thing that I want to highlight is your interview of your pastor. You need to talk to him quickly to set an appointment where you can sit down and talk to him for probably 45 minutes or an hour. It might be a little longer than that. So you need to respect his time and be ready to ask him the questions that are lined out on the class assignment schedule. Excellent questions and ones that you need to probe and ask carefully and think through. And then what you will do with that is that you will then prepare a paper. I researched this, and the requirements or expectations are not stated. I will send in another announcement sometime in the next few days to clarify what you ought to accomplish in that, in writing a paper, and what kind of style it ought to be in. You also have a great discussion board. How does the angle of vision which pastors and church leaders have for the church differ from the rest of the congregation? Good question. I think the video is an awesome asset again this week that I encourage you to read. My only complaint with it is that they put some excellent quotes and some wonderful Bible verses up, and the man talks over the top of them, and I didn't have time to read them. So I encourage you that when one of those quotes pops up, that you click pause so you can read the quote and then continue listening to what he has to say. It's an excellent 12-minute video that I think that you take an extra 3 minutes and read the quotes. You will really find a lot of helpful material before you interview your pastor. We're coming back to the Andy Crouch book this week, and we'll be reading actually from page 185, which just is the title for section 3 of the book, and we'll be then also reading an article by Lyle Schaller that I think you will find helpful, the most neglected factor in church planning. So those are the highlights of it, but I also want to highlight another aspect, and that is week number 7. I would like for you to read that also as soon as you can, because it calls for you to do an interview of 7 people in your congregation, to interview them in a group, and then to write a paper about that. That's for next week. But again, with busy people, as you and I are, we need to be able to say, well, I can do it this night, but not that night or the other night. And you will need to do a little planning to be able to get all 7 of those together in a group so that you can interact. Next week, I will give you some pointers on important group dynamics in having 7 people who are people of influence and leadership in your church, so that you hear the opinions and perspectives of each of the 7, not just 1 or 2 that overtalk the subject, and by their overtalk imply that other people's ideas are unimportant. So you need to be planning ahead so that you do this week well, but also that you succeed in the assignment for next week. God bless you as you work on these topics. I found it very stimulating as I've worked on it, and know that you will find it so. And stay tuned. I'll give you details about this assignment from interviewing your pastor, but it may be 2 or 3 days before I get that done. Thank you.